Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. Welcome back. In this December daily video, I am working on days 11 through 13. So before I start, I thought that I would do like I did in my last video and just kind of give you a walkthrough in real time so you can see what my album is looking like right now. I'm really loving how it's coming together and I'm really loving the stories that I'm telling. I feel like I had, a list of things that were possible stories that I could tell. And honestly, I feel like I haven't even looked at that list because every day a new story presents itself and that's the story that I want to tell. So I really love how it's coming together in that way. All right, so I'm working on day 11 right now, and this story I'm going to tell is all about our advent calendar, but I'm going to tell it from the angle of my kids being older and how I love that they are still really excited about these simple traditions that we've had since they were little kids. They get really excited about them still. And I don't know why in my mind they wouldn't, because of course I get excited about these simple traditions. So when it comes to Christmas, I still kind of feel like a little kid. So I don't know why I would think that the older they get, they wouldn't feel the same. But I'm learning, right? This is the first time I've done this. So that's a little bit about what my story is about. And because I knew that I could, basically tell it in a few sentences, I thought that it'd be fun to actually pull out my typewriter. And I did that ahead of time. Just kind of grabbed over my typewriter and typed that up. Really loved the way that looked and that it just had a different look than what's been going on. If you saw my title page video, you'll recognize this paper that I pulled over. So I actually made this with some reactive toner and the Mink machine. And if you want to see how I made that, go ahead and check out the title page for December Daily 2017. And I will have it linked above and linked below in the description so you can find it if you'd like to see how I made that. It's really simple. You just kind of need to have the supplies. And I thought that gold would really pop with that black number. And I didn't really think so much about cutting it up because I was thinking of using it as a tag. If it was something I really wanted to do again, I could always remake it. So I wasn't really worried about that. Now you can see that I'm just going through some chipboards and looking for something I might add to the photo. I felt like I just wanted to add a little something more, but I kept going back and forth with that heart because both the heart and the number were dead center. And so I was kind of like, I wanted to put it down at the bottom, but I felt like the top really needed something. So I kind of moved on while I was thinking about it. You've heard me talk about that before. That's one of the things that I do when I'm just not 100% certain. So you can see that I'm just adhering that number down and I just use some rolling adhesive. This is actually a good replacement for the stamp runner that I use all the time. And one of the things that I've recognized now, I think I've gone through day 16 because today's the 16th, and my desk is a disaster. I really just need to stop and clean it up because I'm not finding my supplies, and I actually couldn't find the stamp runner that I normally use. I'm trying to use it up so I can move on. So I just grabbed an adhesive that I have that I could find. Same with my cutter. I couldn't find my Tim Holtz Tonic cutter. I don't know where it's at. So I just used my older one. So that's why I'm using that one. So you can see that I'm, again, just kind of looking at where I want to put that heart. And I do settle on putting it in the top, and then I just went ahead and stapled it down. And because it's going through a thick chipboard piece, sometimes it sticks out. And so I just kind of folded down those prongs just with a bone folder. And that's it, you guys. I'm done with day 11. One of the things that I did not do that you'll definitely see in the pictures was doing an Avery tab on the side. So I totally forgot to do it there, but you will see it in the photos. All right, you guys. So this next one that I am working on, this is day 12. And the story that I'm telling here is my 12 of 12. So for those of you that are new to my channel and don't know what the 12 of 12 project is, I'll just quickly explain it. So on the 12th of every month, I take pictures all day long. And then I choose 12 pictures that best represent the day. And I typically put it in a collage. and I will put that collage in my project life. So I'll have it there. I actually have had friends that have made books of all their collages. They've decided to play along with me. If this is something that you would like to play along with, definitely play along. I would love to have you on the 12th of every month. I've been doing it since 2009. And so I have a lot of these collages, and it's one of my favorite projects ever. But the last, let's see, in 2015 and 2016 in my December daily album, this is how I've chosen to display my 12 of 12. So I just choose the 12 photos that I normally would put in my collage. And then I'm using this 2x2 pocket page protector, and I'm just sticking all of my photos in. And I typically will always do journaling that goes along with the 12 of 12, just so I kind of know, 10 years from now, I'll know what was going on, get a little bit more detail about the photo. And so years past, I've written up a big long journaling and put it like in a 3x8 page protector. This one I decided to do little squares, and you'll see how I handle that in just a minute. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but that's some of the things that I'm thinking about. I want to add some embellishments because I want it to be really fun. And for whatever reason, this always ends up being the hardest part for me. Like, I always think that it's so fun, and I love seeing what everyone else does and what they put in their pockets. And at the end of the day, when I look at mine, I'm like, oh, that's not very creative. But sometimes you just want to get done and you just want to move on, right? So that's kind of a little bit of how I was feeling, just because I wanted to make sure that I was able to get to day 13. But you'll see that I kind of go back and forth as I'm working through those embellishments. And now I'm working on the bits of journaling that I'm going to do. So I grabbed over this stamp set that came. This is one of the December daily stamp sets from this year. And I really liked those numbers. I had plans to kind of do like a list with those numbers, but I haven't done it yet. So we'll see if I end up actually getting to that in my December daily. But you'll probably see these numbers in my project life because they are so versatile. But what I'm doing is I'm going to do, so I've got 4 cards, and I'm going to just do 1 through 12, and I'm going to kind of stagger them. When I started writing in the journaling, I was like, I could have just put them all in a row, but I kind of do like the playful feel of having them staggered. And now I'm just stamping all the numbers 1 through 12. And I think that I end up like speeding through this just so you don't have to watch me do every single number. And then I'm just going to write my journaling, and it's only like a sentence. It's not, it doesn't need to be a big, long, drawn out thing, but it is just a little bit more about what was going on and why, like, for instance, like, why did I take a picture of those candles? Like, why, what am I doing in front of my computer, which was, I was editing a video that day. So just little bits and pieces like that. Also, one of the things that I did not do, and actually I've failed to do, as I was editing this video, I realized I didn't put numbers actually on the photo. I meant to do that. But I for some reason, it just kind of slipped my mind. I just moved on to other things. So that is something I definitely want to do. You won't see it in the video because I didn't realize that until I started editing, but I will go back and put on some numbers. Those, the black numbers that came in the Paislee press kit this year. Allie had some white ones that were like that came in I think it came in one of her story kits. I can't remember which one, but they're the same style. So I thought that I would just put those right on the photo. They're small and thin, and they won't be they won't be in the way of the photo. So I'll definitely do that. So you can see that I'm just kind of, again, working through these embellishments. So I definitely wanted to add one of those squares. I thought those were a lot of fun, and really any of them would have worked really well. I chose the black just because I thought it really stood out and was pretty bold. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to put on the back side. I think this is probably almost the hardest thing. I would just as soon add another square embellishment, but because they're so thick, I have a hard time putting them back to back. Though one of the things that you could do actually is if you realize like you could really peel off the cardboard on the back of those chipboard embellishments. They really, like if you ever pulled one off, like a photo or something, and it leaves the remnants, but it starts like peeling off the layers, you could definitely do that. I'm just thinking like you could do that and it would be less thick. Actually, I really like that idea. I might have to do that for something else. So you can see that I was just looking for something to put on the back of the circle and also that square. And I just went ahead and I cut out that card. I can't now remember what the card said, but that came in the kit, the Allie's kit this year. It says something about December days, I think. And I thought it went really well with this my 12 of 12 project, because the 12 of 12 project is all about your everyday, and it's just taking pictures of what's going on in that moment, which is why I like this project so much, because I want to, in fact, I started this project because of Week in the Life was so intense. The first year I did it was one of the first years Allie like kind of did it with everybody, and it was so intense that I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can take pictures for a week again. And so I decided, I had heard about this 12 of 12 from actually Kathy Zilski. I think if I remember correctly, it was from Design Your Life, her workshop, Design Your Life. And she talked about it. And I thought, I can take pictures once a month all day long. Like I can do that. That's not too intense. So I did that and I fell in love, and I never went back. I've been doing it since 2009, and it's like my favorite thing ever. All right, you guys, I'm going to jump back into what I'm actually doing. So instead of, like tracing when I trace the circle, instead of doing that for the square, I just decided to stick it onto the back of the cardstock, which was actually a lot easier, and then just cut it out. And then I knew that it was going to cut out perfect. I think it probably would have been a little bit harder to do with the circle just because it had words on it, and I wanted to make sure I got the words in the right placement. One other thing I wanted to mention is you saw that I stapled that circle embellishment right onto the page protector. It was so heavy, and it was right at the top that it just kept flying out. And so I was thinking that I could seal it up with a fuse tool, but I just decided to staple it on. And that's another thing that I actually thought of when I was editing this video. I was like, why didn't I put in any sequins with those other white stars that I went ahead and threw in? By the way, I think those came in this star embellishment kit. Could have come in the main kit. I can't remember. Anyway, let's move on, you guys. I am working on, this is day 13. So I got a package in the mail. I had ordered some prints, something off Etsy. And this is the package that I ended up getting in the mail. And on the front, it had my name written really cool. And then on the back, you can see that it had this happy mail for you. And I could not rip it open that way. I had to like cut the package open a different way. And I thought, I'm definitely using this in my December daily. And you guys, I love finding little things like this to add to my December daily. And I thought that this would be a great opportunity to tell the story of most of the gifts that I buy now are all online. And so I thought that it would be a great opportunity to tell the story of my online shopping and just how different that is from what it used to be, even from when my, kids were a little bit younger, and especially when I was younger, when the internet didn't exist. So, and another thing that I kind of mentioned in my journaling is when you get a package in the mail, I feel like it is like almost like Christmas Day. It's exciting to get the package, and it's exciting to think about the person that's actually getting that gift. So that's a little bit what I talked about in the journaling as well. So I decided to just do something really simple for the numbers, and I just grabbed over these numbers. I'm really glad I picked up these circle numbers. It was kind of a last minute thing, but they weren't very expensive. And I'm finding so many uses for them. So I'm pretty excited about that. I used it again, I think maybe on day 15 or I don't know. I think I use it again. 16. I think I use it on 16. Anyway, so because this was just like cardstock, I wanted to add a little something more. And you saw that I pulled off that rickrack, and I thought that was really cute, that it really popped with the craft color. And so you'll see that I'm just putting down the score tape and just running it alongside that edge. And because there's kind of a lip there. So I thought that that would actually work with that as well. And then I just went ahead and I put it on just so you're getting some of, you're able to see some of that ribbing from the rickrack. And now I'm just going to do my journaling. And the way that I'm going to put my journaling on is with a paper clip. And it's so funny. I was actually thinking of using that white and black paper clip that you saw me just put on my desk. I don't know if you noticed that. But at the end of the day, like I couldn't find it. And so I didn't end up using it or even looking to see if I would like it. And I'm looking at this video going, oh my gosh, it was sitting underneath that 3x4 card the whole time. And I had no idea. Anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny when you can, go back and watch yourself work and realize, oh yeah, that's what ended up happening to that. So now I'm just doing my journaling, and you heard me talk a little bit about what it was. And I ended up having to cut that card. I haven't done it yet, but I'll end up cutting that card down a little bit because it just kind of went over the circles some, and I didn't want it to, cause a problem with it moving around in the album. Anyway, you guys, that is my days 11, 12, and 13. So I hope you guys are able to get some inspiration from this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will get back to you. Thank you guys so much for being here. And if you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. All right, you guys, we will catch you in the next one. Bye.